You're listening to the PlantX podcast, the digital face of the plant-based community. Join us as we explore the inner workings of all things plant-based, from the products and lifestyles to the people behind them. Each week we'll be touching on what's new in the ever-expanding world of PlantX and chat with everyone from entrepreneurs and chefs to nutritionists and scientists. Whether you follow a strict plant-based diet or just want to learn more, you're invited. Now welcome our host, the man who combined his love of e-commerce and the plant-based lifestyle to create PlantX, Sean Dollinger.
Seventh episode of the PlantX podcast, and speaking to you today from Los Angeles. Was down for the full week working on our store in San Diego, California, Live Marketplace, which will be the flagship PlantX location. It's coming along fantastic. We got a few renderings this week, get the full budgets next week, and then full into action and getting the spot up to PlantX standards. So we're really excited about all of that. The team is really motivated. Did some spot checks this week on some shipments going out across the US. Lexi and her team over in San Diego doing an unbelievable job with the packaging. Everything's going great. We just launched .com. I think I mentioned that about 2 weeks ago, where we went from plantx.ca and split it up. So we have the plantx.com for the US and plantx.ca for Canada. And slowly but surely, we now see the US sales picking up. So we want to make sure that when someone opens the package, it's as beautiful as the website, the experience that they're getting, and everything of that nature. So that's going really well. So great job, Lexi, and to your team. And, we went ahead and announced, obviously, the closing of Boombox UK, our partners in the UK, largest subscription plant-based company in Europe. And we, I think on last week's episode, I mentioned that we had even seen Canada sales start really going, plant subscription sales or, just plant sales across Canada, going great. And then we decided to launch the whole vertical on the US. And today we have Andy here, Andy Burde, to tell you a little bit about our partnership. So welcome to the podcast, Andy.
Hey, Sean. Glad to be here.
Andy, we love to start off the vodcast by asking a pretty simple question. How do you like your coffee?
Double shot espresso with a splash of milk. Cortado, you call it here, but not sure in Canada.
Cool. I don't think I ever heard it referenced to that before. So learned something new about coffee pretty much every episode. It's amazing how many different versions and how people love their coffee. So it's pretty amazing. Like I said, we had launched, the whole plant side of things on .com this past week, and we already see sales right out of the gate. And, I know that your business started, in a small way just a few years ago, and it's incredible where you are today. Maybe you could tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. For sure. So, we started it out actually as a small Amazon store back in 2017, focusing on just air plants online and not branded. It just, trying to offer the largest selection of indoor plants essentially with the best price. And that kind of just tumbled into, growing through our own greenhouse and, selling more products and more indoor plants and, just a bunch of different types of species. And then about a year and a half ago, kind of started drop shipping. So drop shipping for other brands. And that's, helped us, I guess, add volume and be able to actually really make shipping efficient. And just kind of overall growing the, footprint of the brand.
Yeah, so Andy, like the plants vertical on our side of things, it's just one segment that we're in, but it's incredible how large that segment really is. And to be completely honest, when I started PlantX back in April, we weren't even thinking of plants even being part of our platform. And then actually Benji, a friend of mine, calls me from Winnipeg and tells me, oh, the plant industry is blowing up and you guys should look into it. And then we started adding, and then all of a sudden we acquired an unbelievable company. And now we're working with someone like yourself that, so, to our listeners and viewers, what makes like a plant different? For example, your plants versus the next company's plants. What makes yours special compared to everyone else's?
Yeah, so I think we don't grow our own plants. There's not many e-commerce people grow their own plants. There's growers here that focus on very specific species, and with that, you obviously get quality. And what we've seen in the past, I would say, 2 years is just the plant industry has taken off, and a lot of people are at home and working in their office and realizing that they kind of want some type of greenery around, and it makes them feel better and just in a better mood in general. So we've seen a huge increase in terms of people just getting into it and interested in plants. Obviously, there's people who are really into it and have like a bunch, but just starting out with a few, I think, it makes life a little bit more pleasant. So, yeah.
And today I'm in the first time like in this outdoor setting again. I said it earlier. I was checking out our store in San Diego, and then had to work with the teams here in Los Angeles, and just the surrounding of being around all of this greenery, etc. I didn't grow up in a house with many plants. My home currently doesn't have many plants. And, since understanding and speaking to Katie and her team over at Bloombox, it's really, been quite inspirational to see. So I totally agree with that. And then, something that keeps coming up with a lot of our customers and clients and even investors, and I think it's a great question that maybe you could shed some light on, is we're now headed into the cold months. Again, never even thought about this from my side. I've been in specialty e-com for 20 years. And how do you make sure that plant is still healthy when there could be going into a climate that's minus 20 degrees?
Yeah, so we use heat packs and orders, and right now we're investing in different distribution centers across the country so you're closer to the end consumer, and the plant gets there in a shorter time period. Of course, with like really cold weather areas, you use the FedEx Express and just faster shipping in general. But the heat packs last for 3-4 days and can just ensure the plant gets there safely. But on the winter side of things, winter is a time when it's snowing outside or it's just kind of gloomy. We've seen just a lot more people getting into indoor plants during the time because they just want some greenery around and they're not able to go outside and enjoy it. And so, it's like winter is kind of a period where it doesn't really match the whole plant scene because, it's usually spring is the big season for plants. But just, winter is definitely, a lot of people are getting into it then. We see that for sure.
Yeah, and then did you notice the same spike after COVID, that everyone else kind of saw across the board? Is that consistent?
Yeah, so we, drop ship, so we've seen it just across the board grow. And about March and April of this year, when COVID really started to hit and there's lockdowns happening all across the world, we saw just everything spike in terms of all the different platforms we sell on. And Amazon is quite a strong platform, and we just saw that pretty much triple. And it's amazing that it's still kind of up there. It definitely didn't come down to what it was before. It seems like a lot of people are getting into it and are still continuing to do it. The largest place that the growers sell the plants that are grocery stores, and grocery stores are still like the biggest avenue, I believe, for the plants, but more and more people are getting used to the fact of, hey, you can get this delivered to you. And I think one of the big key things is like guaranteeing the plant when it gets delivered. So making sure that, hey, if it comes in damaged or there's any issues with the plant when you receive it, that we'll send a replacement out to you. And that's kind of just like a cost of doing business online, I think. And just ensure that when you do order something online that you'll get it in tip-top shape.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. Customer service, making sure that e-commerce experience it's key to everything. Creating that customer that stays loyal to you is so important, especially for us where, plants is one vertical. The idea is someone buys a plant, wow, incredible service, and then they buy other products on our platform. So to have a partner like yourself who really stands behind your products is absolutely key. And then, part of it, Andy, on our show here, people are taking time out of their Saturday to join us from all around the world, which, we greatly appreciate. And that's how we've been able to grow to the point where we're already at in just a few short months. And, we encourage people, since they are taking the time so that they get what they want out of this. We have Andy here today So feel free to send over any questions you guys might have. We've had a couple come in through the week as well. Give us feedback on the podcast. What do you like? What could we do better? We want to make sure you're getting the information on this Saturday morning that you're looking for. That's the idea behind it. And, in return, what we like to do is always pick somebody each week who has been active during the week, giving us feedback. Holger over in Germany, our partners in Bloombox. Katie made sure to get out an unbelievable plant, great pictures. It'll appear on social media in the next little bit. But for today, we'd love to give it out to Nicholas Katula, massive supporter, watches pretty much every Saturday. And, thank you for taking the time to give us the feedback that you do. And Andy, you're the plant expert. What do you think would be the best one and why to give it to Nicholas today?
Yeah, for Nicholas, I would say the Philodendron minima, Monstera minima. So it's the mini Monstera, super popular plant, but kind of harder to get. But we just got them in stock last week, and they have the slits in the leaves already, so they're a little bit smaller than the Monstera leaf, but a bunch of slits that make it look quite unique.
Awesome. Thanks for selecting that. And as Nicholas's challenge, we'll make him say that 3 times quick to be able to get that plant shipped out to him. So it sounds absolutely fantastic. And one of the big things, obviously, for Katie and her company over in the UK and Europe was the whole subscription model that they went to. Have you introduced that yet in the US? Do you think that there's an opportunity for us to, to team up with your company on that?
Yeah, for the subscription box, it's actually our strongest part of our business, I believe. And yeah, we would be more than willing to be able to line something up with PlantX and have a subscription box here in the US. We do a monthly box. We probably have 11 different boxes we do right now. So kind of just depending on what selection of boxes to offer to the US customers, can definitely start shipping them out whenever you guys are ready.
Fantastic. And Andy, you probably have some information on this just to give the investors and shareholders and our customers an idea, like how large is the actual plant space just in the US, or do you have any numbers on really so that they could really understand how big and how this vertical is so valuable, and we've already got this jump start in it?
Yeah. So the nursery industry here in the US is about 42 billion, and that doesn't include the growers. It's mostly nurseries that sell. So Armstrong Nursery, Tractor Supply would be some of the 2 big guys. And they're essentially, big garden centers. But what's interesting about the garden industry is that it's all very segmented. So there's not one huge player that owns a huge part of the market. I think Armstrong is, still in the single digits of market share. And it makes you kind of realize that it's a lot of mom and pop stores and, a lot of small e-commerce stores now coming up into play. So it's very, there's a lot of different niches and segments that you could really target, which makes it exciting because, there's just a lot of opportunity for innovation and different, just different strategies to do. But yeah, it's growing, and I think, like I said, it's segmented. So there's a lot of opportunity to really try different stuff. And I think that's what's making it exciting compared to the drink industry where, Coca-Cola has a huge market share. And it's really, kind of hard to get your foot into the door.
Cool. No, that thanks for giving us some light on all of that. And then we actually have a viewer who sent in a question. John from the UK says, out of Europe and the UK, Holland is really the main grower distributor, and you kind of hit on it a little bit on what you just said, but is there like one big key player that supplies, or maybe there's not one key player, but is there a geographical zone that really masters kind of the technique around growing?
Yeah, so we have a greenhouse here in San Diego. San Diego is for the West Coast, I believe, kind of the hub for the indoor foliage. So what we call the indoor plants, house plants, is they call it tropical indoor foliage plants. It's stuff that you get from South America, rainforests, and kind of supply chain starts from down there. So a lot of the growers, they buy the cuttings from Guatemala, Honduras, Brazil, and they import it in. The main hub in the U.S., I know Holland is the main one in Europe, but in the U.S. it is Florida. Just a bit. There's a couple areas in Florida, but one north of Orlando, They call it a popka. Literally, the tagline for the town is the world capital of indoor foliage. And there's one south of Miami, Homestead, and it's similar, but they focus on larger, probably like 10 to 14 inch, which is like 30 centimeter pots for the market. And so a lot of that stuff comes from there, and then they ship it out to different areas from Florida. But just the climate there makes it easy to grow. It's always warm. It doesn't get too cold in the winter time. So yeah, just when you go down there, you can just see every street has a greenhouse, which is really cool to see, actually.
Yeah, and kind of to echo what you just said, I actually hear that the quality of plants out east are actually better than west, and I don't know if that's true. Any truth to it, but supposedly people, like, when they ask me, oh, where does the plant come from, a lot of people like hearing that it's from the East Coast versus the West Coast for whatever reason, but maybe it goes back to what you just said, the plants enjoy that climate more.
Yeah, so we just acquired a greenhouse in Florida, so we will be having that online probably by Jan 2021.
Cool.
And then I guess we'll see with the quality, but what we've seen so far is it's very similar to California, and even the prices are similar as well. So
I guess it's that East and West Coast fight. One side has better stuff than the other, but you know what? We're going to have you back on the show to let us know the truth in the new year, and hopefully by that we're literally shipping hundreds of plants with you a day. And thanks for taking a chance on PlantX here, and we really appreciate it, and you taking time on your Saturday morning to come say hey to all of our shareholders, investors, and customers.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're really excited to partner up with PlantX and see what we can do, for the U.S. market here, and just grow through, subscription box in the future, and just direct-to-consumer sales for the plants.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'm sure we'll be in touch a bunch this week.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean.
Take care. So just another one of our fantastic partners. And then obviously with Katie's knowledge over the last 3.5 years, building out that plant subscription model, and then, bringing that to the US now is going to be fantastic. So, the whole idea that we've started this week for Bloombox is to start splitting out the URLs. So bloombox.com, bloomboxclub.com, which if any of you haven't checked it out yet, website looks great, and we'll start moving that over to bloomboxclub.co.uk. Then we'll start using the .com for the US, start splitting it out to the .ca, and then obviously over to Germany.de. Our CEO, Julia Frank, is from Germany, knows the market extremely well. So that's what we do at PlantX, where we partner with the best of the best and then build out the vertical using their inventory. I heard Andy knows, he's been doing this for over 3 years, built his company from, a house to a couple massive greenhouses on each side. Do this, we put a are absolutely phenomenal. And based on all of that, thank you very much for obviously once again taking time out of your Saturday morning to join us here. Team's got our heads down. We're going to get San Diego up here shortly, but North American grocery sales are now full on, and the plant vertical is going great. And like I said, meal deliveries as well. We're really excited to head in to the best time of year here, heading into Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, and New Year's. With that being said, stay curious, stay planted, stay healthy. Till next week, cheers.
So that's it for this episode of the PlantX podcast. Please check out www.plantx.com, the one-stop shop for everything plant-based and the digital face of the plant-based community. We have meal delivery, groceries, plant-based supplements and vitamins, and great ways to connect with like-minded individuals about the lifestyle we share. Stay healthy, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.